In essence, it's very simple. You probably have done Umrah, you've been Makkah. On the 8th day of Dhul Hijjah, you're going to leave at Fajr time. You're going to pray Fajr in Makkah and then go and pray Dhuhr in Mina. Okay, Mina is a few miles away from Makkah. So what will happen is, at that point, you will put your ihram on before you leave Makkah. So you put your ihram on, and this time you put your ihram on and your intention is, I am intending for Hajj. The first time you put it on was for Umrah. You would have said, I'm intending Umrah, intending this ihram for Umrah. So you put your ihram on and your coaches will probably take you to Mina. You get to your tents, you get settled in, and basically you're going to pray 5 prayers in Mina. So you're going to pray Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha and Fajr. So on the Fajr on the 9th day, you're in Mina. And you probably get prepped that now we're going to Arafah. Probably get a little talk. And you'll get moved from Mina to Arafah. Okay. Now, staying in Mina and the prayers, all that's sunnah. So all that's sunnah. So if you got delayed, something happened, which happened to one group, they got delayed, and they went straight to Arafah, that's permissible to do. You get to Arafah, and you probably get to Arafah between Fajr and Dhuhr time. Again, you get to your tent, and you got a couple of million people, remember. So getting to your tent, all these logistics takes time. You get to your tent. If it's before Dhuhr, you're probably advised to get some rest. So you get there, say 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you will rest, have a little rest, and get up about Dhuhr time. There is a masjid, Masjid Nimra in Arafah, and it is recommended to pray Dhuhr and Asr there. There will be a khutbah by the Imam, but again, that was when you read these things in books, that was at a time when it was quite straightforward. Now, probably all your groups will advise you not to leave your tents because you'll get lost. So nobody really goes. You stay within your tent, and no one goes to the masjid. So then you pray a Dhuhr and Asr. Now, again, the schools differ on this, whether you join or not. Abu Hanifa's of the opinion you would join Dhuhr and Asr if you prayed behind the Imam in Masjid Nimra, but if you're praying in your tent, you wouldn't. His 2 companions are of the opinion that it's for anyone in Arafah. You stay there till Maghrib time. Now, Arafah is the day of Hajj. Al-Hajju Arafah. There's a hadith, Al-Hajju Arafah. Hajj is Arafah. And this is the day that basically is Hajj. This makes or breaks your Hajj. If you miss Arafah, if you're not in Arafah, then you have missed Hajj. Okay, you get delayed, you miss Mina, it's not a problem. If you miss Hajj, if you miss Arafah, you've missed your Hajj. So you have to be in Arafah. And the Prophet ﷺ spent the day in Arafah between Dhuhr and Maghrib just making dua. So this is a day of dua. It's a day of turning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And depending on your groups, our group has a collective dua right at the end. You do your own duas, and then at the end of it, you have your collective dua. Obviously, there's going to be lunch and other things that will take up time. So there are things that take up time, but don't waste that time, chit-chatting and talking about things which you can do at another time. So that is the day of Arafah, which is the main day of Hajj. For non-Hajjis, this is the day they fast, isn't it? And there's 2 years of sins are forgiven. So, but for Hajjis, they're not supposed to Hajj. They're not supposed to fast. They're supposed to focus on just worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now there are things like, it's recommended to take a ghusl. By all means, if you want to use the 5-star toilet facilities in Arafah, which are made available for your comfort, and you can quite successfully use the pipe to have a ghusl with, then go for it. But most people would struggle with that. In fact, most people don't want to go to the toilet. They're not the cleanest, but it's good to live like 80% of the world's population sometimes. So you will stay there, and then it's recommended. It's not. It's actually wajib to stay there and for even a moment after Maghrib. So after, you'll see that Maghrib will come in, and after the sun has gone down, then people start making their way to Muzdalifah. And so you shouldn't leave before Maghrib irrespective of what other people might be doing. And you do not pray Maghrib in Arafah. You will pray Maghrib with Isha according to all schools in Muzdalifah in Isha time. So you will make your way to Muzdalifah. This can all be, you can walk all of this, and there's some slides that will give you an indication of how much walking is involved. And depending on your group, some groups go with coaches, some give them the option who wants to go with the coach, who wants to walk. But you will go to Muzdalifah, and Muzdalifah, you're going to spend the night in Muzdalifah. It's wajib in the three schools, the Malikis, Hanbalis and the Shafi'is. The Hanafis say it's sunnah to spend the night in Muzdalifah. And this is where you pick up your pebbles that you're going to use to pelt the three, what's called the three shaitans. You're only going to stone the big shaitan on the day of Eid, isn't it? On 10th. So 7 there, then it's 21 on the 11th, and then 21 on the 12th. How many is that? 49. Right, 49, and another extra 21 if you're going to stone on the 13th night. 13th day. So you're in Muzdalifah, and what will happen is you will stay in Muzdalifah until Fajr time. You will pray Fajr in Muzdalifah, and it's very important that it's because of numbers. For example, before you leave Arafah, it's probably a good idea to go to the bathroom, right? Because you know, the least you want to minimize how many times you need to go to the bathroom in other places, because there's massive queues and they're not the best facilities. So hopefully you'll have done you've gone to the bathroom in Arafah, made wudu, so that when you get to Muzdalifah, first thing you're going to do is pray Maghrib and Isha together in Isha time. After you've done that, you want to go and get your pebbles, and then you want to have some rest. And you get up at Fajr time, you pray Fajr Salah, and you need to be still in Muzdalifah for some portion between Fajr, beginning of Fajr time, until sunrise. So what you find is most people will pray Fajr as soon as they've prayed Fajr, and Fajr will be the same time as Makkah. So you would have checked what time is Fajr in Makkah, that will be the same time as Muzdalifah. Now some people, because they want to move quickly, they pray, you know, a bit quicker. It's always better to wait 5 minutes and make sure Fajr has actually come in. Like I said, do not copy anybody. Do not watch anyone. You stick to what your group's telling you. You pray Fajr, and then after praying Fajr, you're going to now make your way back to Mina. The group I went with, what they did is they went from Muzdalifah back to their camp in Mina and had a rest for a couple hours. Other people want to do the stoning, and they go straight from Muzdalifah, walk all the way through Mina and go straight to stoning. So depending on what your group is doing and what you want to do. So this is the 10th day, this is the day of Eid. So in your own cities, people will be having Eid. We will be, inshallah, in Mina. So there's going to be a couple of things you're going to do on the day of Eid. First thing is the shaitan, the big shaitan, you're going to stone that 7 times. Then there is the animal sacrifice that your group will take care of, and then you're going to trim or shave your head. Okay, so it's 3 things you need to do, and the simplest way to remember is pass. Okay, P for pelting, AS for animal sacrifice, and S for shaving. So pass. Okay, in that order. The Hanafis say that has to be done in that order. So you stone the big shaitan, and then you do your animal sacrifice, and then you shave your hair. Other schools say you don't have to do it in that order. So you will stone, and then you'll make your way to, you'll get your animal sacrifice done, then you'll make your way to, you'll either shave there and then in Mina, or you wait till you get to Makkah. So our group, what they did was they walked to the stones, and then rather than walking back again because it's such a long distance, you might as well just keep going to Makkah. Got to Makkah, and then when you get to Makkah, get your head shaved, and then again you can rest in your hotel, get relaxed, and you want to do the tawaf. Okay, so when you have pelted the big shaitan, done the animal sacrifice, and shaved or trimmed your hair, after those 3 things, you can now take your ihram off. So you take your ihram off, you can have a shower, and it's going to feel like the best shower you ever had in your entire life, right? It's going to feel so good. Using shampoo again, but you can, put your clothes on. You can relax. The only restriction is sexual intimacy, and that will be lifted once you do the tawaf. So once you've done that, the tawaf, you've got 3 days to do it. You can do it on the 10th, 11th, or 12th. It's up to yourself if you want to go, which day you want to go. But you will not completely come out of ihram, the bigger ihram, until you've done that. Most people will maybe try and do it the 10th, unless it's some difficulty or the group advises not to go on the 10th. You do your tawaf, and then you come back to Mina, and you will stay in Mina on the 11th and 12th. The only thing to do on the 11th or the 12th is stoning. So you'll stone all 3 shaitans on the 11th and the 12th, and then you can leave to go back to Makkah, or you can decide to stay another day, the 13th, and then go back to Makkah. That's why it says 2 or 3 nights. The time for stoning is is after Dhuhr. Between Dhuhr and Maghrib is Sunnah. After Maghrib it is Makruh, it's disliked. But you have to be sensible here. Like I said, you've got to look at what's happening at that time, and your group might decide, look, like for example last year there's that stampede, there's all sorts of things happening. Your group might decide we're going to go later. So don't get panicked. Oh no, I need to do it in this time, I need to do it in that time. No. You've got to trust the people with you, and if you've got a scholar, then they should know. But I don't really have an issue with people stoning after Maghrib, just because of the vast number of people and safety issues. But you'll find that even the stones now, they've made the stones so large that you can actually, the chances of stampede at the stones is not really very high anymore. But again, this is why it's important to know the rules and know what's permissible and what's not. Okay, so that's maybe Google, have a look at the map. You can see where Makkah is. This first green light's Makkah, second one's Mina, third one's Muzdalifah, and the furthest one is Arafah. So you're basically going in a circle. You come back again. So you're going Makkah to Mina, Mina to Arafah, Arafah back to Muzdalifah, then Mina, and then back to Makkah. So you're going around in a circle. Okay, so that's the 5-star tents in Mina. Okay, and that's the day of Arafah, and that's the dua, and we have a collective dua in our group. Muzdalifah, good luck if you can find a spot to sleep, because there'll be people everywhere, scattered absolutely everywhere. So when you're picking up your pebbles, it's not a boulder you're picking up. And it's not like a minuscule piece as well. They say like the size of a chickpea, right? Roughly the size of a chickpea. You might maybe pick up a few extra in case you drop a few. Rituals of the day of Eid. So we went through this, the jamarat, so the big shaitan, the sacrifice, shaving or trimming, and then tawaf. Do 3 to exit state of ihram. Well, basically the first 3, and then that takes you out of the lesser ihram. And then when you do the tawaf, then all restrictions are lifted. So that's the jamara, that's the stone. So you can actually see they've made it very large, so you can stone it from either way. And also it's like a one-way system. So basically, the traffic flows, doesn't stop. So it's quite good. They've changed all that now. And going to the jamarat, you probably go through one of these tunnels, and you hear everyone raising their voices. It's an experience. Okay, so what other things? You have the Qurbani. Now, the Udhiyah, or what we call Qurbani, when we're here, usually we give it on behalf of ourselves, because in the Hanafi school it's wajib. If you, very simply put it, if you're somebody that usually gives zakat, you have enough money to give zakat, then you will be also obliged to give the Qurbani. So when we're there, obviously we're going to have a sacrifice within our Hajj. It's already included. The Qurbani is not obligatory upon a traveller. Okay, it's not obligatory upon a traveller. So most people, because they will not be staying for 15 days in Mecca or Medina, they will be travellers according to the Hanafi school. and therefore they are not obliged to give the qurbani. If you want to, that's fine, but you don't have to. In the other schools,